And as expected, analysts at the state-run KDI believe the South Korean economy is now exposed to greater external risk factors given the unrest in the Middle East. Our Eun-jin covers their most recent assessment.
South Korea's economy had been showing a trend of modest recovery until it was disrupted by the ongoing Middle East war and now faces increased downside risks. This was the assessment by the Korea Development Institute in its April publication. The KDI's analysis suggests that as soaring international oil prices and supply chain instability persist, negative impacts on inflation, consumption, investment, and exports across the board could intensify. The state-run think tank first mentioned the possibility of downward economic risks from the geopolitical crisis 1 month ago and is now issuing a more explicit warning, saying the risks are expanding. Domestic demand is currently improving modestly, while exports maintain a high growth rate on the back of strong demand for semiconductors. Average retail sales for January and February increased by 2.7% compared to the same period last year, recording a higher growth rate than in December of last year, which was at 1.2%. Service industry production also increased by 3.3% during the same period. Facility investment rose by 9.3% in January and February on average, bolstered by strong investment in semiconductors. And while construction investment remains sluggish, the decline showed signs of easing. However, the KDI also analyzed that as of March, downward risks to the economy are expanding due to rising oil prices and global supply chain instability due to the Middle East war. For the month of March, the spike in prices at gas stations drove consumer prices up 2.2%, slightly higher than the 2% in February. While inflation remains close to the 2% target, the KDI warned that upward pressure could build further as the impact of rising oil prices is gradually reflected in inflation, which may act as a negative factor for future consumption. Exports are also at risk of facing worsening conditions amid a potential slowdown in external demand due to the Middle East war. Eun-jin, Arirang News.